July 25th, 8:24 p.m. It was the worst day of my life and the most tragic day of my life. This video may trigger some people that are not ready to touch on this topic, which myself took 7 years to relive this tragic story. But in order for you to heal, you have to help someone else heal and give someone else hope that there is life after miscarriage. This topic may be triggering to some, but just know that you are not alone and there is hope after a miscarriage. Enjoy the video. Looking in, and like some people have a euphoric experience, and some people think that's a happy moment, but I had a outer body experience that day because I lost my child that day. So this message may be a trigger warning, but this message is to help someone that has had a miscarriage and to teach women, couples, how to cope, how to deal, how to ask questions, and how to overcome these type of situations, and to heal and help other people on this journey we call life. So I want to take you on this journey with me just real quick and just express to you how we all go through traumatic situations, and this one was an unfortunate situation that I had to go through. You know, I was looking at myself, and I was in that moment, stuck in that moment for a while. You know, I was looking at myself because I just realized that I wasn't going to bring my baby home with me in that moment. I knew that I had lost my child once my water had broke, and I had just found out the day before that I was having a beautiful baby boy. That in that 1 second that my happiness had turned to sadness, that I was questioning everything around me. I was questioning doctors. I was questioning the information that I've ever known. You know, we don't ask those questions. We don't think about those things that can happen during our first child. You know, as a child, you always want to be a mother. You know, as a girl, you know, you're playing house and you're playing with dolls, and as you're decorating the beautiful baby room that you think you're going to bring your baby home to after you give birth, that's already decorated and looking so beautiful, and you're buying all these things that in that split second when your body just changed and you're going through all these emotions, and you're sitting there in that moment, froze, and just stuck in that moment, that you're realizing that you won't be bringing your beautiful baby home. It is very traumatic. It's very heartbreaking. It's a life-changing situation that I wouldn't wish on anyone. But you have to take that lesson, and you have to really understand what the situation is trying to teach you as a human being, as a woman, just in life, what it is that is trying to teach you. So in that moment, as I'm, rushing to the hospital, as I'm, everything around me is just moving so fast. I'm, learning how to adjust to just trying to understand what is going on. I'm getting to the hospital and I'm hearing all these things happening. I'm being hooked up to all type of machines, and all these questions are being asked to me that I can't answer, because I'm even questioning myself, like, what did I do wrong? Did I make a wrong move? What did I eat? What did I do to myself? But it's nothing that you've done. It's nothing that you could have did better, or it's nothing that you could have did more. Things happen, and we can't question, God's purpose for our life. We can't change, things medically. We can't blame the doctors. We can't blame ourselves. We can't blame our partners. We can't blame even our bodies. Things happen. We just can't give up. We have to deal with our emotions and just go with the flow. We got to let our emotions out. So everything was just moving so fast. And, but what, in all that, as they're explaining to me that, I have to deliver this baby, even though I can't take it home with me. I can't take him home with me. I have to still go through the delivery process. And that's even more traumatic too. I have wonderful nurses, and that's kind of in that moment, you think everything is going wrong, but, God is still in the midst. And as I'm growing and as I'm growing spiritually, I have to take the good with the bad. And I had a wonderful nurse. She was in the field that she needed to be in, because she was put in my life right at that moment that I needed her. She was there. She was so patient. She was so kind. She, every second of I needed something, she was explaining everything, every step, everything that I needed to know. She was wiping me down. She was asking me, do I need anything? She was bathing me. She was making sure that I held the baby every step of the way, every minute during the time that I was, delivering and needing to hold the baby when I didn't want to, and taking my time from the time that, he took his last breath. She was right there. Knowing that we were first time parents, she just kind of knew that it was very hard for us. And so she knew what to say, how to say it. So it was people around that took care of me. So it was very easy for me to grieve in that moment with the support system that I had around in the hospital. So that was very wonderful to have at that time. She made sure that I got, nice things, the baby's diapers, cards, made sure that, the blankets, we wrapped him in, were, put in there, his hats, and, made sure I took beautiful pictures, and made sure I got, his information, his social security cards, all his diapers, made sure I got all his pens, made sure I had boxes, made sure I filled out all the information for his, arrangements after, I had this, after got his beautiful boxes made from after his service. Things were lined up very smoothly during that process, even though it was very hard, leaving the hospital, leaving my baby, and detaching was very hard for me. But us as mothers and becoming a mother is the first step in growing up and knowing that we love, and that is a big step to knowing that we will be a wonderful mother. We are going to be a wonderful mother. And we are not going to just stop there with having children. So the first step is healing, and healing our bodies, and, healing our relationship with our partner, grieving, making sure that we grieve, making sure we grieve our child all the way. If we want to go in that room that we decorated so beautifully and that we bought all these things, and we knew that the baby was going to be happy and loved, we need to grieve. We need to cry. If we need counseling, go get counseling. We have, if we have supportive family and friends, make sure we reach out to them and, ask for support. If we have, if we're religious or if we're spiritual, reach out to, your church family or your, spiritualist, or pray to God, which I am connected to God and connected to him spiritually and have a spiritual connection and relationship with him. It made me closer to him. I did question it a little bit, like, was it something that I did? Was it something that I did in my past? I know you're like, why she keep adding to the video and talking over the video? But I have to add that there's nothing that you did wrong or we could have did differently, but we do have to ask the doctors more questions as far as our bodies. We have to eat healthier. We have to take more time to rest. We have to take time out for our bodies to adjust to having a human being. So we should not have to question ourselves to the point where we drive ourselves crazy, but we do have to take the steps to be more healthier, eat more healthier, and live better to be able to carry a human being, and to make sure we ask the questions that we need to. If we are suffering with any health issues, we have to make sure we get tested. Even if it's genetically through family or passed down through our partner's family, anything can happen. Child recently, or maybe is still grieving a child from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago. Maybe, still grieving a child that was 18, that was, lost, that was at an older age than, mine. I was only 23 weeks in one day. But still, losing a child is losing a child that is connected to you. You felt them move in your stomach. You felt them kicking. You seen those ultrasound pictures. You seen their heart beating. They were alive inside you. They were a part of you. So you need to make sure you're doing all you can to keep fighting to become the best mother you can, and always ask those questions, whether they're hard on you, whether you're happy to get that positive pregnancy test. When you go to those appointments, ask those hard questions. Ask the doctor those questions that you need to ask. Okay, is it potential that, miscarriages? What is my body going to feel like if potentially I may be having a miscarriage? We need to ask those hard questions that we don't want to ask, even if we're in that happy moment. We need to weigh the pros and cons of, those questions that we need to ask, because we need to know what our body, when our body changes. Because if we're not getting those answers from family members, or we don't have a mother that is, active, or really telling us, different things, or we don't have those mother figures or support systems, we don't know when our body is changing. We don't know those things that we need to know. So we need to ask those questions about those hard things that we don't want to think about, so we can know when our, cramping, when our water breaks, or when we don't feel right in our body, so we can be prepared for these type of things. That, it won't be so hard to accept the fact that something did happen and I wasn't prepared for these things, even with a partner, or if you're alone, or whatever it is. We will always have that information to prepare ourselves for these type of things. And just know that you can try again, and you can have a healthy baby after a miscarriage, whether it's a late miscarriage, whether it's an early miscarriage, whether it's a day, whether it's a tubal miscarriage. You can have a child. Heal your body, grieve in your time, no matter how long it takes. Do not shut your partner out. If you are in a relationship, grieve together or grieve separately. Go to counseling if you need to, but get the help you need. And then try again if you're willing to be a mother. Because I know I was. And I know I was going to try again no matter what. And on the next video, I'll let you know that I did have another miscarriage. And I'll let you know that I did have 2 healthy children after. So you can try again. And I just want to say I love you all, and that God loves you too. And you will make it, and you will be okay. And I know it hurts, but I'm here for you. And don't worry, this too shall pass. So I will see you on the next video, and keep your head up, and don't let this get you down, and don't fall into depression, because you are an amazing mother. Your baby is what would have been an amazing baby, and you would have loved that baby, and you still love that baby, and they know you love them, and you will have a healthy baby. So I love you all. See you on the next one, and tell me what you think. Do you think I had 2 boys? Do you think I had girls? And I'll let you know in the next one how my other journey went. All right, see you in the next one. Love you all.